Good morning and welcome back to When Pigs Fly. I'm Patty. I'm here with Tracy and Renee. Good morning, ladies.
Hello.
All right. So first we want to welcome all of our new subscribers and a big shout to our OGs. You guys are amazing. Please keep sharing in the community because this is what really helping us to know what you guys want to hear more about. And we've got a cool update for you today. Today we're going to talk about dreams. There are many of you that have been in the community posting about what does this mean, and the answer, it's a multi-level answer here. So we're going to do our best to share with you our personal experiences and what we have come to learn about this, and then we'll continue to talk a little bit about other updates that are happening, like in the eyes and the brain and all these things. So hopefully it'll help clear up or give you a higher perspective on what our bodies are going through. So, in the dream state. So, does anyone want to jump in on this?
Anybody?
Here we
Uh,
go.
well,
Any feel like we're at the auction? Any takers?
I know. Well, Patty, I think because when we were talking off camera, I think like the stuff that was coming in for you, I think that's a great starting point.
Yeah, cool. So for me, I've definitely been having more vivid dreams. I usually sleep like a like a brick. I still do. And but I've been noticing that they're very clear, very vivid, and I recall them. Some of them I can recall very, very clearly. And Renee was asking me, she said, like, do you remember it later in the day? And many of them more recently, I can recall it days later, but then there's still that percentage of them where you feel it for the first 5 minutes and then it's gone. And so, a couple of different things are happening here. One is that when we're in sleep is the best time for us to clear and heal old relationships and emotions. So that's one thing. And here's the key that, and I heard this clearly in meditation, we do not have to do anything. So if you felt an old relationship get resolved, that doesn't mean that you have to now go, okay, let me go in the rabbit hole and do something else. That means that you were just shown that, okay, this has been cleared. And by clearing, it's being alchemized essentially. So all of these experiences get alchemized back to 5D, which is pure love. All right. So that's one aspect. Another thing that's happening is what we're calling it coming attractions. And I've definitely experienced this where they put me into a dream state to show me what it feels like to be in that unity consciousness. And they had me in the wind, and I was the wind. They had me in the trees, and I was the tree looking out. And and it was wild because one, there was a friend of mine that was with me, and I couldn't understand why she was in the dream, but she kept saying to me, "What's happening? What's happening?" And I was like, "Just chill out. This is cool." But what was interesting is I felt a third entity, but it wasn't clear, but that was like guiding us. So, and I get goosebumps even saying this again. And when I woke up, I almost was like, wait, where am I? And I had to like look at the clock. I had lost complete like track of where I was. And that one was so real and so clear. And then I thought, oh, wow, that's what it means to be one with all. And literally was able to feel it. Oh, and they showed me the sun too. It was wild. And I was the sun looking down. So it was weird. So my body wasn't in the dream. It was the essence of me. So it was, I'm guessing, consciousness. I didn't go too far in the rabbit hole with that one. But and I know many of you are saying, wow, I'm having these wild dreams. There was another one I had where someone was hugging me. And then when they stepped back, I was like, wow, that is the last person I would have been expected to hug. And it was like, oh no, that had to be healed. That energy had to be healed. And I was like, how cool is this? So there's a lot. And then for those of you who've had fatigue and then sudden bursts of energy and fatigue and sudden bursts of energy. So when we're sleeping, your spirit body, your metaphysical body is doing a lot of work, is going out, going out into the cosmos and receiving upgrades and bringing them into the body. And so the fatigue is just your physical body keeping up. Our cellular structure is completely upgrading, regenerating. So and this can be mood swings too, where you feel, oh wow, this is like pure joy, and then you can feel like, oh my gosh, why am I crying over this? So that's perfectly normal because we are becoming highly sensitive, which the initial response might be, well, wait, I don't want to become highly sensitive. Remember, we're shedding, the fear is gone. The foundation for fear is gone. We're in a love-based thing. And so therefore it's safe to move around the cabin and love people. So it's these higher levels of love, higher levels of joy that you can experience. And I have been shown this in dreams for sure, which is so cool. So that's been my experience very recently with dream state.
What they were saying when you were speaking, Patty, was what we all have to remember is the veils are all dropping. When exactly what you said, I would double down on, there's so many things happening when we're dreaming. And, they've said this for years. And I think right now it's a little more obvious that this dimension, this thing that we're living right now, our human fields, our human self is living, is actually not the true reality. Our reality is when we're sleeping. That's the truth. And, and then that's like, we're out there. You're not only getting downloads, everything, you're out there teaching. And as you were saying, like, oh, I was the sun, I was the tree, I was the wind. They said everybody on this earth now that is here has been everything. So you were experiencing not only the aspects of you from what we will refer to as different lives, because they're saying, well, everything's in the now, so it's just another version of her. So what's happening is, as these timelines are dropping, everything's merging together. So exactly what you said, Patty, we're starting to experience that, oh, this is what it is to be everyone and everything, and be that true oneness connection, because you're realizing, wait a minute, I am everything. And other people have that same experience. Oh, wait a minute, I was the sun and I was well, yeah, because we're all connected and we're all that, whole aspect. So we're saying as we're moving into that energy field, you're not only, they're saying, try not to pay attention to the dreams, because you're not only learning and experiencing, you're remembering, you're bringing up the energetic infusions into your body, because it's all sitting within. We're just really waking them up. And the best time that they can do this work, and they're saying, is not only like all the healers and everything, is all parts of you. The best time that they can bring that up is, oh, wait a minute, they're out of their human consciousness. Yeah. They're sleeping. So let's now bring this in. So you're really out traveling. So sometimes if you're exhausted, they're saying it's because you were doing so much damn work. So it's that point of, recognizing and realizing that, number one, they're saying, you don't have to pay attention to the dreams. It's going to naturally take its progressive steps that need to be taken. If you're focusing on something that might have felt negative to you, they're saying switch it. Ask, what's the positive aspect of this? Because exactly what you said, Patty, exactly what you were talking about, Tracy, before we got on, was the whole aspect of all that fear-based stuff. That's all, gone. We've dropped that. And Tracy, I'm going to throw it to you, because then there was a thing you were saying about the recreating and all that. So people start to understand that's really gone. Start to focus on the fact of who and what you are now, not what you were and not what you have to heal. They're saying, don't go there, go here. Like, stay in the now, not even in the future. They're right in that now. Okay, Trace, you.
So, it was interesting. This wasn't necessarily a dream, but about a week ago, I woke up with kind of an understanding, which I've shifted, we're just using words, dream, you can get downloads. I think it's kind of where we're at in our understanding, and also where we're at in our ability and willingness to accept what's going on. I would say that some people have, I have been the sun. That's kind of a big concept to grasp. to much less, speak out in public. But so that's a cool point of interest that we're all kind of exploring it at different phases and in different ways, which is nice because I don't necessarily say I dream much anymore. It's more of a active relationship and dialoguing throughout the night. It's kind of shifted, and I might go back to dreaming. I'm not saying. I've just happened to be playing in that field of it right now because 2 weeks from now I'd be like, oh my God, I'm dreaming like crazy, and it's crazy. So it's kind of cool that you can shift between how you're receiving the information and how you're choosing to see it. So I woke up about a week ago and I was getting the, kind of information that it's uncoupled, it's done, that we have released from this programming of old stories and old energies, and that now it's pure creation, which we've been talking about that. It's kind of like, I think we see and know a lot, but then I know I'm always asking, well, is it here? Are we talking about it, or is it here? Like, is it available, and how available is it? Because you say that, oh, we're in pure creation, but then I'll have an example. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't think we're 100% dialed into that availability, because as we know, it's all levels of availability, what's available to us, and then our corresponding and correlating availability or willingness to receive it. You see, it's how a two dynamic. It might be available, but we might not be willing and able to wrap our head around it, or we have a subconscious unwillingness to fully allow it. Anyway, a lot going on, and I totally diverted. But anyway, this whole thing of we are in pure creation, and yes, we can recreate the old energies instantaneously, but to be very mindful that we are recreating them. We are not hooked into them anymore. So I happened to stumble upon this guy. His name's Jason Estes. If anyone knows him out there, he's got cool stuff going on in his head. I love it. So I'm going to read to you something that he posted on Facebook. So it's out there in public. And it was the same day that I got this. I was like, oh, this kind of understanding of, no, we finally unhooked. It's uncoupled. It's done. So he wrote, today is the first cellular cycle started on love as the master signal. This is a huge deal for the almost 200 years, our master signal being broadcast was fear. And that was the baseline for our cellular memory. Get ready for big shifts, as our DNA is how we communicate with God. Our RNA is how God communicates with us, but our cellular memory is how we translate that. It's a lot to wrap your head around. You might want to think that through, because I'm still rereading it going, So anyway, so in the past, no matter what was being sent, we were afraid. Now we will begin to see love everywhere, and it will be much easier to heal the patterns that kept us from love. Welcome to a brave new world founded in love, hope, and joy. Awesome, amazing. Yes, please. I'm still trying to figure it out. And simultaneously, I don't know if I said it on air, I got this thing of, I had a really whack out night. Like felt like I was burning in fever. My body hurt. And I was like, don't worry, you're going through a transversion. And I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? A transformation and a conversion. Turns out it's a real world, and it deals with DNA and RNA. I still can't explain that to you, but I'll cliff note it. The love base is here. So yeah. Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can get into this a little bit because I love this. So yeah, our bodies held those, what I call the history files in our cells, held the energy. And it's now through all the purging and all the ascension and the new light energy coming in, our cells have turned over. We're going from becoming from a carbon body to a crystalline body. Things including our spine. I forgot to mention this. Our spines are upgrading to allow, the word I got was actually expansion, the physical spine and the sacral spine. So the sacral spine is an energy center, and then the physical spine. And so it's interesting that everything when we say clean slate, it's the clean slate is happening within our body too. And yes, the 5D is absolutely available. They showed me a grid of in place. That was the words they used. The 5D grid is in place, and it used to be, right, the false matrix that was there. So that veil, I think Tracy used the word veil, right, is gone. And but now it's a choice. What are you choosing in every now moment? In every now moment, we can choose that choose pure love and light. And it's so the challenge there is, what are your physical eyes seeing, and can you hold that state of being and hold a space? Like for me, that's my work, is can I hold no matter what is going on? And you know, that's where this, as individuals, that's our job. Like we're really minding our own energy, and what are we doing, and what are we choosing? What are we looking at? What are you giving? Again, attention and authenticity. Are you being yourself? Are you telling the truth? And what are you giving your attention to? That's like my operating MO right now, Renee.
Well, and I think it's very important to say, because you had, just said about the truth, and the truth is really being pushed forward. It's not things that people want to hear, but it is definitely being pushed forward. So I think it really is important to stop and figure out, what are you choosing in that moment? And if it's something, if you're lying, and I don't say that, like, I say lying, and then I'm going to use a very simple example of, oh no, I can't go out because blah, blah, blah. You're using a lie. What's wrong with just saying, and we've talked about this before with Patty, because you've said this, that, okay, well, I don't want to go. I'm just not feeling it today. Like, and that's okay. Like, everybody has to start going back into allowing people to not only honor themselves, but you to honor the fact that they have a choice, and not, forcing things to come this way, because you're going to be called on it. If you're lying, like, this stuff is becoming so obvious now that these are lies or mistruths, however you want to, say it. And it's really important to really focus and center on what feels right to me. And we had been talking about this for a while, that it's really time to go back in, and what is feeling right in you. What do you feel like? Oh, this doesn't feel good. Somebody says something, doesn't feel good. Okay, honor that. Move beyond that. We're all shifting and changing. We are all evolving. So in this evolution, who you were yesterday, who you were an hour ago, you're not now. I mean, 5 minutes ago, you're not now. We are continually making this shift. And I want to go back to Tracy, when you were saying, who knows, I might dream, next week. Well, the healers were saying, oh no, you're not dreaming anymore. That's it. That's part of the evolution. As you get into that point and you're able to now have this dialogue, that's where we're going. We're going into the dialogue. So they said, those that are having more, that are now dreaming more and remembering them, that's that step before you get to that. Okay, now we're conversing. Now we're having a conversation, because you're tapping more into the aspect of who and what you truthfully are. So I'm fully expecting you, Tracy, soon to show up and be like, look this, I'm flying now, look. Because you're doing that shift. And, again, recognizing and having that awareness that if you want something in your life, it's all right there. You have it. You already have it. Now you just have to resonate with it and stop giving energy to the fact that you don't. So again, what are you choosing in this moment of now? What is your truth? And that's what you're going to start to resonate with. Hopefully that will make sense.
It does, Renee. And I think, like, for me, the challenges that I used to have in beginning to practice this and seeing everything through a perception of pure love would have been like boundaries, right? And really being comfortable saying, no, I don't prefer that, without being apologetic and without feeling guilt and shame. So it's what emotion are you attaching? And then being able to stop and saying, okay, no, now I get to create in this now moment. And that's that, shifting that to your, what am I creating? And our old go-to was, let me figure this out. Or, let anybody who's saying, let me think about that, let me chew on it. No, now you're going into your head, and we are heart forward now. We're heart forward. And as the heart expands, and then the heart communicates, we get the knowledge last. Now, wisdom is different, right? But we feel, then we go do, and then we know. Right. So that's energetically what we're doing. That's our operational system in the 5D. It's no longer, and they're helping us out. The mind and the brain is all getting updated as well. So because the brain's function was never supposed to be figuring things out. We all have access. We are infinite intelligence. And what Renee is saying and what Tracy's practicing is at night is you're getting that communication, the wisdom's coming in, whatever, like it's almost like when we reboot our computer, it has to shut off and then turn on. Well, that's essentially what's happening with our bodies, if you want an analogy.
Yeah, that's good. I like that because, Tracy, what they're saying is when you're doing that, you're beginning to shed that physical aspect. So now you're doing that. And then, and I know you have the dialogue all day, like me, and like Patty, we're having this dialogue all day long. But what then is going to drop is, what they're saying for the human form, or they're going to say a veil, which really isn't what it is, but they're saying they're going to drop this huge veil. And then all of a sudden you just are, and you're recognizing it. And that's the wonderful thing about you having that, whole conversation, everything at night, and during the day, you're really breaking down all those boundaries. And they're saying, as we start to do that, we have to really get into that consciousness of, oh no, my family's right here with me. Not, oh my God, are we leaving them behind or do anything like that? Because that's what we do. Oh my God, this is my boyfriend, this is my husband, this is my whatever. And we start to get into it. And they're saying, for all of mankind, let go of that and know, of course they're with you. Of course they're all above me. We're all with every single thing that we do, all of those within our field, they're all automatically being upgraded. We've talked about this before, off screen and then, on screen, that just automatically, that's, how wonderful is that for them? We're doing all the work. And it's like, woohoo, hey, you're getting it. But they're saying, do not think that somebody's not coming with us. Of course they're coming. They're saying, of course it is. Why do you humans do that? Why did mankind do that whole aspect or think that somebody is not worthy? They're saying that's another big thing within mankind is somebody think, oh, that person is this. They're saying, no, that's part of what we are all going through right now, recognizing, and they're saying they recognize your world has gotten out of this. And they're saying, but that's why it's coming to light now, so it can clear that everybody can have their own opinion and it's okay. They're saying, mankind got out of that aspect, but it got out because there was all this underlying stuff. Now it's got to come up, blow up to now become anew.
Yeah. And change the way you look. For me, I got into the practice of everybody's a perfect soul that I look at. You're a perfect soul no matter what. And when you do that and understanding, and this is where the compassion comes in, for unity consciousness, we can just be compassionate for those that are just still unconscious. There are many that are still unconscious, and don't judge it because they are still a perfect soul incarnated focused into a body. And for me, like that helped me to go beyond that street level judgment, we'll call it. and go, okay, wait a minute, we're more than a body, we're a soul, we're a spirit, we're right, and focused into form, and really using that language and getting used to it instead of I'm this small human who's separate and trying to please people, and really saying, okay, when we say, what do you want? And really going into your heart and saying, okay, I don't really want to participate in that right now, and it's okay. And being able to say that and saying it openly with each other. But yeah, and we have soul connections with everybody, particularly your family. You have soul connection. You probably made a deal. Hey, we're going to go through this awakening shit together. But everybody receives the consciousness when they, as an individual, are ready. So it's not like you join hands with all your friends and family and go, okay, 1, 2, 3, we're all jumping together. It's our job is in that aspect, individual of us giving attention to our own authenticity in that realm, and then being able to allow it to come through. But everybody is ascending. everybody is ascending. And then the consciousness and the awareness, I should say. So consciousness is awareness. The awareness opens up for them when they're ready to receive it.
Yeah. Tracy, what do you got?
And I'm trying to, you said it this time before last you talked, and I was lost the thread, because if I don't jump right in, I lose my thread. So I can't remember what you said, but I was going to give an analogy of how it works for me. Of my friend told me to watch this movie Atlas, and I've been getting a lot of understanding of everyone's getting their Iron Man suit, which is super cool because you have this internal and external dialogue between you internally and externally in your environment. And I wish you something about if you can walk through the day and there's a lot of things happening that could be, they're unnerving to watch. Okay, that's what it is. Sorry, I just remembered it. The truths. There's a lot of truths that are going to be presented. And I know for me, I celebrate them, even if they're very not fun to look at. So we want the truth to be revealed. We want to see, I can speak for myself. I don't want to not know what's happening. I want to know and see all truth and honesty. So there's a lot of not good things. There's a lot of things coming out in the world stage that, we've been lied to, been kept from us, a lot of crime, a lot of medical issues, which could be construed as negative, but I show up in them and say, oh yeah, yay, we're finally getting to see the truth. And then I take it one step further. That's not my belief system. I don't buy that bullshit. So it's very empowering from me, which we were kind of talking about this off air. When I talk about things, I'm talking about corruption and greed and stealing and medical stuff. I don't speak from them in a fear-based, trapped manner. I speak from them from oh yay, this is being revealed. I don't believe it in any way. So we're a step closer to that entire opening of availability of the real truth, which I just caught the thread. Back to the dream is the reality. So sorry, I got it. I got it.
That's okay.
You got threaded back to that dream. Yeah. I'm like, I knew I had a point. I had no idea what I was going to say, but I think I hit my points that I was trying to get out.
Yeah, you're talking about like ascension progress is really what it is. What can be perceived as, shit blowing up is really ascension progress. And the truth all truth is coming. All truth is coming. Yeah.
Well, and not only that, we have to start to, and I think you talked about this once before, Patty, in this whole aspect of us letting go of the human part of us. Remember, the human part is this is what I remember. This is what I do. That when all these things are, letting go, that whole fear thing, everything that we've done, right, is fear-based. Not everything, but the things that we're worried about, that we're concerned about, that's all fear-based. So as that's all dropping, we can't go back into the memory banks of, oh, wait, what is this? We have to feel like, wait, what feels right? What am I supposed to be saying at this moment? What's happening? What's that whole aspect? So start to write things down, because we think you're going to get them. And I'm telling you, and I'm pretty sure, Patty and Tracy, you do the same thing. We get these things. It's not always just staying there. Like, if I get this, whatever, like if you notice when they're talking, I'm always writing things down because I'm like, okay, I cannot trust my human form to remember what it is they're saying. That's not who we are. That's a human element. The same, we're moving beyond that to the knowing. We know everything. We have all of that stuff inside. We've all gone through this before, believe it or not. We've all had this. Like, we're not telling anybody anything you don't know. We're just helping you remember it all and do the whole aspect. So the point of start to write things down, because we're going to start to see things differently. You're going to hear things differently. You're going to feel it differently, because the feeling is that whole aspect of we're connecting in to that true oneness, and that true oneness is connected with everyone and everything. And we just get these downloads and this information that, and I guess there's, when I said downloads, they're like, it's not a download when you're connecting to everybody, you just know. So they're saying that's all coming. That's who and what we are. So when you start to recognize, oh, I'm feeling creepy about this situation or this person, this thing, honor it, move along, keep going. It's going to really benefit you tremendously.
Well said. Wow, that went by quickly. And I think that we're going to keep digging in on this because I think all of our wheels are turning now. Now we got it going. So thank you again, and welcome again to all of our new subscribers and listeners. And keep liking and sharing with those whom you deem are ready to hear it. And I will see you guys next episode.
Bye.